Y'all probably missed that too. Miss me saying that.
So it's been 2 weeks since I've seen all of your faces in our hiking club meeting, and I missed you. Last week didn't feel right without seeing everybody.
Right.
And exploring together. So I'm excited to be back and to see all of you again and to hear about your Thanksgivings. So today we are in the United States and we are traveling to the very northeast corner of the country to Acadia National Park. If you've heard of this park before, please raise your hand. A few people have heard of it. Has anyone been there?
I have never been there.
Okay. No. So this is new to all of us. That's exciting. I have a few different videos to show you where we'll talk about some of the hiking, some of the animal life that you'll see there. There's some really cute animals in this video I'm going to show you. And some more about the history. And then some fun things that you can do when you visit. Just some fun facts. So we'll spread those videos out through our meeting today and have some time to talk about some interesting history facts and fun facts about the national park as we go. But first, let's see where it is on
Let's do this.
Yeah, we'll do this.
That's right, Alyssa and Beth. Let's do this. Okay. Here we go. Here we are in Tennessee, where it is freezing today.
Oh yeah.
Are
you sure?
Said,
it was
amazingly, we got snow yesterday. At least most of us did, I think. That was unexpected.
Showers probably. I gotta look for the crowd for it.
So Acadia is way up here in the state of Maine. Has anyone been to Maine before?
No.
You can just say it if you have. No. I haven't either. It's on my bucket list, but I have not made it there yet. So in Acadia, I want to show you some pictures that people have taken even this month in November so you can see what it looks like before we get into these videos. So Acadia National Park has so much diversity with that you can be right on the ocean, on the coast.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You can be in the mountains, you can be on a beach, you can be in these little towns that are close by, these little coastal towns. It's a really beautiful and diverse looking park. And there are a series of lakes inside of the park. It's just beautiful. All these rocky crags, some that you can climb up on certain hikes. So here's some more. These pictures are all new. I was looking just this morning. And so that means it was taken. Well, let's see. This one was, I guess it's new because I was looking at latest. So let's see what's the latest.
I want to go there.
No, it's gorgeous.
To that beach. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. I think my computer's freezing up just a little bit, but you can see on the left-hand side, a lot of people visit this park in the fall because they have beautiful colors on the leaves when the leaves are changing. So you can see there's some beach, there's seagulls because you're right there on the coast. Different kinds of trees. This picture right here that my cursor is over, this is called Thunder Hole. So it's a big attraction in the park that we'll learn more about in one of these videos. Going back to where we are. You know, the United States has so many national parks now, but Acadia was one of the very first to be established as a national park. It is over 100 years old.
Wow, that is.
So for some reason, I'm having some issues
They have
with
different
Google
teams.
Maps. So I'm just going to exit out of that. So why don't we start with a little introductory video so you can learn a little bit
Let's do
more
this.
about the park.
Don't do this.
Before we do that, did anyone get a chance to watch that video that I sent out yesterday? Alyssa, Rachel, Kendall, Julie, nice. So you got a little bit of insight. Seth, awesome. You learned a little bit about it in that video. I think it was about 7 minutes long. Expedia is really great about putting out informational videos that are just well done and give you a good view of the area. So this first video that we have is about a hiking trail. Because this is a hiking club after all, I want to show you what one of the hiking trails looks like. Now, before I show you, you should know this is a pretty intense hike. So you'll hear in the video, it's not for the faint of heart. But luckily, we get to virtually go along on the hike ourselves, and we don't have to put in the work today. We just get to see what the view is like at the very end. All right, this is called Unboring Exploring, the Precipice Trail in Acadia National Park.
Let's do this.
Don't
Thanks,
do
Elizabeth.
this. 5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
1.5.
It's a good countdown, Julie. This is considered, at least for this person, one of the 10 most beautiful hikes in the world. It's pretty bold. That's what she thinks. Let's see what we think.
Hey, yeah.
So,
Hey.
hey crew, that's not the right one. I'm sorry.
no.
Here it
Christmas
is.
hot deals are here at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get 30% off selected Adidas footwear. Buy two.
It's taking us back to the Grand Canyon.
Right.
Hello there, I'm Krista Stevens, and today we are hiking Precipice. Okay,
So can you see what she's climbing on right here?
A rock.
These are iron rungs, basically a ladder that's been built into the side of this boulder.
Rock.
So I know, check it out. We'll see more as we go.
so this hike is a bunch of ladders or something? Some precipice this is. Okay, that's a horse of a different color. Today brings us to Acadia National Park in Maine, the oldest national park east of the Mississippi and one of my personal faves to explore. With its craggy coastlines, enchanting landscapes, and impressive
That's
topography,
pretty.
47,000-acre park is quite the desirable destination for nature lovers and sightseers alike. Aside from Acadia's delectable beauty, this park is full of hiking opportunities, including its most challenging and well-known trail, Precipice, which, of course, we are climbing today. A few trail tips before we begin. First off, this trail is generally closed from March 15th through August 15th for peregrine falcon nesting, so make sure to come before or after they've flown the coop. Secondly, while this is labeled a trail, it more closely resembles a via ferrata climbing route with its sheer cliffs and steel railing-lined walkways. A scramble like this is not meant for the faint of heart or smart children, so come prepared for a compelling and exceptionally exposed climb up to the summit. Alrighty, so this short but steep circa 1.6 mile hike begins off of Park Loop Road at the base of Mount Champlain, the 6th tallest mountain in the park. I'd recommend coming early as the lot as well as the road fills up quickly with automobiles. At first, the hike seems rather reasonable, with granite steps and moderate climbs up large boulders. Moments into the trail, however, signage warns of Precipice's doom, realigning your epic expectations. A few paces beyond this sign lies Precipice's precursor, a pair of awkward iron rungs over a large rock form that require passage before continuing. This is essentially a hiker's test to confirm your clambering abilities and to deter misinformed travelers from attempting this dangerous trail. Looks like I passed. Beyond this technical trial, the fancy footwork begins as the face of Mount Champlain looms ahead of you. After scurrying over a vast field of granite bedrock boulders and squeezing through a cavernous rock tumble, the trail's infamous iron rungs begin making themselves a regular companion to your sweaty palms, though some obstacles can be done without them. Look, Ma, no hands. After traversing the following roller coaster section of ups and downs along the cliff's face, you'll reach a trail junction where you'll turn left to continue up to Champlain's summit. Now begin some bigger climbing obstacles requiring a bit of finesse over rubble and rock and up stepstone playgrounds covered in iron rungs. These sections are what make this hike so interesting. There's something different at every turn. After pushing past these climbs, the trail levels out as you pass through a shaded forested section that leads you to ladder challenge numero uno, a series of iron rung and almost rickety but not ladders that zigzag you up above the treetops. Now you'll really start reaching the height of this trail's greatness. Without looking down, of course, you'll climb over countless iron rungs that begin looking as if someone got trigger happy with a giant staple gun along the rock face. As you shimmy along the slender pathway, substantial views across the Atlantic present themselves, rewarding your cliff-hanging courage. From here, more and more monkey bar workouts crop up, offering oodles of arm and leg exercise while keeping you on the edge of your seat. Come to think of it, this is probably the most legendary trail I've ever taken on. Okay, I'll stop. This gripping stretch of trail escalates quickly, raising you hundreds of feet within minutes until you reach a surprisingly level area marking the final stretch of your ascent. Karen's lead you up this comparably easygoing section of trail to your final ladder encounter up to the summit. After saying sayonara to that last iron rung, it's just a few steps further until you will officially complete this technical climb. As you greet the survey marker signifying the pinnacle of Mount Champlain, take time to gaze out at the view of Bar Harbor and the Porcupine Islands with your newfound sense of pride and accomplishment. Now that the absolute epicness of precipice is behind you, the remainder of the hike will leave a little to be desired, though is still quite pleasant with its vistas of Cadillac Mountain and the surrounding Mount Desert Island. The trail leads you with a series of cairns steeply and quickly down the north ridge of Mount Champlain. While other routes are possible from here back to the parking lot, we chose to hike down the 1-mile trail to the road for a quick and easy way back to our car, the Park Shuttle. After a quick ride on this lovely motor coach, you will be dropped off where you began at the base of the again towering Precipice Trail. Huzzah! I hope you enjoyed this hike up the Precipice Trail in Acadia National Park. Until next time, happy trails!
So, from that video, I saw Julie doing this at one point. Did you not want to do that hike, Julie?
I'm not that brave. I'm not that brave.
Who thinks that they're
Hey,
up for the challenge of this hike? Oh, we've got a few brave souls.
hanging out.
Elizabeth, Jimmy.
Some of those views made my stomach like raise up into my throat. I was
Yeah.
like, uh-oh, looks a little dicey.
You know, there's a question I don't think we've asked yet of our hiking club, Elaine, and that is anyone here afraid of heights?
I am.
Jimmy.
So
I'm kind of
Also,
I'm so, but then again, I've hiked it down Sunset Rock before, so
I have also hiked up at Rock City before, but that was like a long time ago.
That's
So
got
maybe
some
if it's
height.
if you do some safe hiking, even though it's high, right? Maybe it's okay, has some good holds. Take it slow.
So we might recommend then that you don't do the Precipice Trail in Acadia.
Yeah.
That'd be a little intense if you're afraid of heights. Hi,
Man.
Evelyn.
If I did a diet,
I would die.
You'd have to be very careful, like she said.
if I did a diet, I'd be.
Hey, Michelle,
Well,
look, learn the
you-
Japanese
Hey,
and
Michelle.
Julie, what was
If
that?
I did diet, I'd be hanging on to help.
Yeah, help me.
Yeah, you'd want to have a good support system to back you up on those ladders going up the boulders. Evelyn, I'm not sure if you jumped on when we had the video going, but You saw some of it. Yeah. It's pretty intense.
I did. I don't want to be up on there holding on that rail. I be done fell off.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Here.
I agree.
So some of these other videos I'll show you, they reveal other options for hiking because there are like 100. I'll have to look back at my notes, but there are many, many miles of trails in the park. It's a huge park, even though Maine isn't a gigantic state. I mean, it's fairly large, but the park itself is fairly large as well.
Yeah, I noticed that the park is dog friendly.
Yes, Evelyn, it is dog friendly. I have a video all about that, and it shows the plethora or the diversity of all of these other animals that live in the park.
Right.
So I think that's a great segue into our next video. So we can see some cute animals. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to the next one? Now we're ready to go. Like Michelle, just show us the animals. We're ready.
Always love some cute animals. It might be worth all
Let's do this.
those challenging hikes or the challenging things that we just saw and all the hype to see some cute animals.
That's right. And I think because it's so dog friendly, I don't know about all of you other dog owners, but I'm going to let my dog zoom along with me. You ready?
Look at that baby.
You ready, Indy?
Oh, look at Indy.
Okay, here we go.
And he's like, what?
You wake me up from my nap. This was filmed just this summer in August, so it's a really recent video. Here we go.
We're standing on the highest point on the east coast of the United States, Cadillac Mountain in Acadia National Park. This place has got it all. It's got woods, mountains, lakes, and of course, the ocean.
Well, that's pretty.
Acadia also takes the prize as one of the most dog-friendly parks in the country. And because my pup couldn't make the long trip, we decided to bring along a new friend.
So I want you to meet our tour guide here. This is Scarlett.
Scarlett is a rescue dog. Her owner, Beverly Bruno, adopted her from a shelter when she was about 4, giving her a second chance at life.
Look at that baby.
One of the great things about Scarlett is she's got a lot more experience hiking around these parts than we do. Yeah, I think she's got some big plans.
Yeah. Acadia National Park is roughly 50 miles southeast of Bangor and covers most of Mount Desert Island, the largest island off the coast of Maine. It became a park in 1916 and was the first one established east of the Mississippi. Each year, 2.5 million visitors come to check out the rocky cliffs, winding roads, and 120 miles of trails.
Good girl.
And today, that includes us. But first, we have a little drive ahead of us.
Your head. Let's see here. Oh, wow. She knows. Here we go. All right, let's get you in the car.
A dog safety harness is just as important as seatbelts are for humans.
Is that? You're set to go.
The 27-mile Park Loop Road circles around the coast and through the woods in the park.
Oh, we got deer. Oh, wow. Scarlett, look at
Look at
that.
the deer.
A lot of white-tailed deer here in Acadia.
They feed on the grasses and tree buds here in the forest. Only male deer, called bucks, grow antlers, which they use to spar with during mating season. And they aren't the only ones.
Maine has got the highest population of moose in the United States outside of Alaska.
An estimated 75,000 moose live here in Maine. If you're lucky enough to see one, keep your distance. A mature bull moose weighs in at a hefty 1,000 pounds or more.
1,000 pounds. These animals are huge. Do you see their antlers here and how big those are? That was a fun fact for me. I didn't realize that Maine has the second largest population of moose.
Or more, and they're not afraid to throw it around if they feel threatened.
All right, so we're on our way to the Great Head Trail, and this is going to be a nice hike because we're going to get some amazing views
Oh,
of the woodland coastline, but also we're going to get to see the ocean a bit today.
Yeah, and it's a great hike to bring Scarlet on. Great Head Trail is one of many hikes dogs can do in the park. Here, more than 100 miles of trails are open to pets.
Right.
Okay, you ready to be our tour guide?
Oh, the big old baby.
Let's go.
All right,
Look
lead
at
the
that
way.
baby.
We're following you. We're following you. Dogs in the park need to be on a leash no longer than 6 feet. It's safer for them and for wildlife. Although they are somewhat rare, there are black bears on Mount Desert Island, and the last thing you or your friend want is to startle a bear.
We're starting at Sand Beach, which is one of the most
I
popular
want to be
spots.
there. I want to go there, y'all.
Known for its rugged, rocky coastline, this beach is unusual.
It was formed by the rushing surf just pounding against the shoreline and creating this fine sand of shell fragments. Okay, looks like our trail is just right up here.
Okay. This is a great hike for everyone. It's only 1.7 miles round trip, and it's nice and moderate. This oceanside hike winds its way through evergreen forest, and it's a little bit of a climb to get to the top of the cliffs. Scarlett's doing pretty good at navigating this terrain. It's kind of a little scramble going on here, and she's hopping right along. Nice.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Nice. It's amazing how you can just be walking through the woods and then walk right out onto a rock like this and it all opens up. Hey, Scarlett, check it out. Soak in the view. Look at the view. No, look this way.
Scarlett seems more interested in what's rustling in the bushes. There's lots of little critters around here, including American minks, which are short-legged weasel-like animals with long bushy tails. Like skunks, minks will spray a foul-smelling liquid whenever they feel threatened. Another good reason to keep your dog close by your side. Scarlett, you want some water?
It's definitely important when you're going out hiking with your dog that you bring water because, you know, we get thirsty out here and we drink a lot of water. They're no different.
So far, we've climbed about 100 vertical feet from the beach, and we've got another 45 to go to reach the top of the Great Head Peninsula.
It's so awesome to be able to go out with a dog on this trail. They're just so much fun to be with. She's smelling things, looking everywhere at all the mountains and the ocean, and it kind of brings you a little energy. Pretty high up. All right.
Not a bad destination.
Yeah, this is it, the Great Head. Good girl. Look at that view. Isn't that cool? Of course, this is your home. You're used to this, but we're not.
I think oftentimes when we're at such incredible places like these parks, it's easy to take for granted. And you look at her being a rescue dog,
that baby.
had a crazy life, and then now look where she gets to be. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions.
So, you can see from that video that there is a diversity of trails. So you don't have to take the precipice trail, which is one of the more intense trails with those iron ladder rungs into the face of the mountain, of the boulders. You can walk along the beach. You can take certain trails that meander through the woods and have these beautiful outlooks. There are, I believe, did anyone hear how many miles of trails are in the park?
A lot of trails.
That's right, Jimmy. There are a lot of trails.
I agree.
There are, I'm looking back at my notes to make sure I tell you the right amount. I believe it's 150 miles of trails. That's a lot. That'll keep you busy for a long time. And talking about, oops, sorry, my light fell off from behind my laptop. So speaking of trails, there is a trail that leads out to one of the islands that they mentioned that you can only walk when it's low tide. Otherwise, the trail is covered up by the high tide. So I thought that was unique. You'll have to pick the right time of the day to get out there and explore it. And that's called the Bar Island Trail, which is between Bar Harbor and a rocky island. So we saw a lot of different animals out there. In total, there are more than 300 species of birds and more than 50 species of mammals on land and at sea, and about 1,000 species of flowering plants. This place is very diverse, which makes it even more appealing or exciting to go visit because there's so much to see. Was there anything from the videos that really jumped out at you that you thought was exciting or unique or different or something that you want to see? Kendall, I see you raised your hand. What you got?
I think the dog. My favorite was Scarlet the dog. She's so pretty. I like her.
She is.
I agree.
Yeah,
Did you
she
see
is.
her? She was
Yeah,
like,
she is.
she's the reason why she can do that with her nose is that what she's doing, what her nose is doing, is sniffing all around her to make sure.
That's right. That's
What
right.
What was that animal called that was black that said it's like it can spray like a skunk because it said to make sure you keep your dog close by so your dog doesn't get sprayed.
I think, Elaine, I think it was an otter, wasn't it? No?
No,
Was it a minx?
I think
Yep.
so.
That's the one.
That's the one. It looks kind of like a skunk, but I don't think it has that necessarily big tail. But
Has anyone here ever run into a skunk before?
Nope.
Elaine, you want to tell us about it?
well,
Yeah,
I
we're doing
didn't
our
get
Zoom.
sprayed though.
Oh, that's good.
But I was sleeping, my sleeping bag
first.
outside,
No, you go first.
and I woke up because there was something at my feet.
Oh,
It had come through the campsite and stopped right at my feet, and so I just laid there
oh
in
wow.
hopes that I did not get sprayed, and he finally moved on.
Well, that was a close call.
That was a close call.
I bet the people you were
Yeah.
out camping with were glad you didn't get sprayed too.
I think so.
Evelyn, did you say you've interacted with a skunk before too?
Yeah, my grandparents owned a farm, so we ran across them a whole lot. You know,
Oh
you
wow.
could
Yeah.
tell by the odor because sometimes I guess they just spray the animal or whatever, and then you still smell that lingering odor. So yeah, I used to see a lot of them there.
Yeah. It does. It's like when you're driving on the interstate, you can smell it sometimes. Right?
Yeah, sometimes you can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
disgusting.
I've done that. I've smelled.
Yeah, I have too. I don't like the smell of skunk.
Exactly.
I don't
When I'm
either.
driving with my no, grab the face mask. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's the only interaction that I've had with skunks is the smell.
That's
That
probably
one-
for the best.
That might
Don't
be
they
the
say you
only
have to-
positive about wearing our face mask right now, right? Can't
Yes.
smell a skunk as much.
That's true.
And don't they say if you get sprayed from a skunk, you have to bathe in tomato juice?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Alyssa, I have a cousin who was sprayed with a skunk. This was in in Nevada, the state of Nevada. And these skunks were wandering around his little farm and sprayed him. And so he told me he smelled terrible for a week, even after soaking in the tomato paste or the tomato bath.
Oh,
Yeah, he
yeah.
had to
It's
do
probably
like
good for you.
tomato and vinegar.
That sounds disgusting, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get rid of the smell.
Yeah, very gross.
Because people don't like, you nope.
Oh, so before we run out of time, because we only have about 10 minutes left, there are a few more things I want to tell you or show you about Acadia. And this is, so I
Let's
have,
do
if
it.
we get to it, I have 2 more videos that are just a couple minutes each. The first one that I want you to see is about the history. And actually, before I show you that, I'd like to tell you some more about the Native American history. Because before this became a national park, there were Native Americans who lived in this area and used the land for survival. So in early island life, the history of it begins with these Native Americans who lived on Mount Desert, 7,000 years ago is what some historians have said. And they painted their burial sites a deep red color. And for that reason, they're known today as the red paint people. And not much else is known about them. But after they died off about 4,000 years ago, the Wabanaki people were Native Americans who lived on Mount Desert over about 3,000 years ago. After the red people vanished, the red paint people, and the Wabanaki spent winters on the coast where it was warm in the summer, and they hunted wildlife in these woodlands and forests. So that was before the United States became the United States and established this national park. So more about the overall history, aside from the Native American history, is coming up in this next video.
Let's do this.
Which is only about 2 minutes long.
And so you guys, I'm going to catch you on the recording. I have to go to another meeting. So I look forward to watching and learning more from you guys. I'll see you soon this week.
Bye, Elaine. Stay away from the minks and the skunks.
Bye, Elaine.
Bye.
Thank you, Elaine.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Let's do this.
Okay. Did you know Acadia is the first place in America to see the sunrise? So where I'm from in Washington, it's a great place to see the sunset over on the west side, but here we're on the far east side of the country. And you can see
At the time of its creation, Acadia was the first national park east of the Mississippi River, and to this day it remains the only national park in the northeastern United States. It was originally established as Sur de Mon National Monument by President Woodrow Wilson in 1916, before being redesignated as Lafayette National Park in 1919. Finally, the park was renamed Acadia in 1929. The park was created in large part thanks to a bygone era when the wealthy gave back to society by advocating for and purchasing land in incredible landscapes and donating them to the federal government. Two such men were George B. Dorr and Charles W. Eliot, wealthy men who had summer houses in the area. Later, they would be joined in their efforts by John D. Rockefeller Jr., who had carriage roads constructed which expanded public access. Through their efforts, Acadia has become one of the most beloved and visited parks in the country. Acadia is made up of several islands along the main coast with unusually hilly topography. At an elevation of 1,527 feet above the surrounding ocean, Cadillac Mountain, the highest point in the park, is the first place to see sunrise in the United States. Other nearby rocky peaks provide excellent hiking trails and viewpoints for visitors of all ages and skill levels. Some more advanced hiking trails, such as the Precipice and Beehive, give visitors looking for a bit of adventure the opportunity to ascend cliffs by climbing metal rungs. In addition to the hills, rocks also define most of the shoreline. Boulders, cliffs, and sea caves meet the ocean tides, while the appropriately named Sand Beach is the one easily approachable section of coast. Another feature of the coast is the Bass Harbor Head Light, a lighthouse above a picturesque rock scramble. Multiple lakes and inlets offer a more serene way to experience the park. Popular spots like Jordan Pond give sweeping vistas of trees and formations like the Bubbles, a pair of rounded hills frequented by hikers. Jordan Pond also features a restaurant and gift shop where you can purchase local items and taste regional meals like tea and popovers. The parking lots around Jordan Pond fill up quickly, so if you're looking for more solitude, you should head to either Eagle or Echo Lakes. Acadia stands out as a unique environment for vacationers and adventurers alike. Whether it's the mountains, waterways, or bike-accessible carriage roads, there's no limit to the ways Acadia can be experienced.
Sorry, I guess I was just talking to myself there. In the video, did you see the carriage roads that they were talking about? There were these bridges that were built, beautiful stone bridges.
Oh, Yeah.
So there are many of those in the park that allow for you to drive through, across, and there are, let me look at my notes again, 17 stone bridges. 16 of those were built by Rockefeller.
What?
Yes, and they date back to before 1940. So those are old
Wowzers.
bridges.
Wowzers.
Mm-hmm. And the carriage roads, they're a special legacy of Rockefeller because he came up with the idea for the roads as an alternative to the automobile. And those roads now, you see a lot of bike riders and pedestrians on those roads, which you'll see more of in the next video and the last video that I have to show you before we end our meeting. Okay. Anything else you want to say before we move to this next video? Yes, Pickle.
So I was trying to tell you for this, but I'm wearing my brother's old, this used to be his hat, but no, it's me, but this is his. He used to be this Phineas and Ferb hat.
Oh, nice.
Which is double-sided. One can be like Phineas and Ferb side, one can be H and R. Just this.
It's versatile. Yeah, I'm with you, Kendall. It was a little chilly today, so I put on my
Yeah, I know. I put my little Phineas hat, Phineas and Ferb, and I switched it over my Papa shirt.
Okay, up next. This video is about fun, free things to do within the park. And this is from a mom's perspective. So we'll learn more about the road systems, the activities you can do, the food you can eat. It's a fun little video, and it's just a couple minutes long.
To do in Acadia, Maine and Bar Harbor. Ooh, these are both national treasures. We went for a family reunion and left with amazing memories.
Does anyone know what that animal is?
Lobster.
Yes, it is lobster. Maine is known for all of their lobster.
Left with amazing memories. My absolute favorite part of the trip, because I am an avid cyclist, was going biking through Acadia National Park. Although bikes aren't allowed on every trail, on the hiking trails at least, there are plenty of room for adventure, from the 27-mile Park Loop Road to 45 miles of carriage roads that are available to cyclists. We went on the carriage roads.
So did you hear that? 45 miles of carriage roads. And that's what Rockefeller designed for pedestrians and bikes. They're not accessible to cars, which makes it much more like you're out in nature, away from the noise, the traffic, all of that. It gives you more of that outdoor wilderness feel.
And loved it. You go past all these really old bridges, you go on top of them, there's gorgeous views. If you bring a bike yourself, it is free. If not, you can rent them in town. We were able to rent not only bikes, but trailers and helmets for the kids, so that was awesome. The next one would be visit the sites at Bar Harbor itself. Stroll the shops, get some famous moon pie, relax in one of their many parks. We personally loved some artisan chocolate made in town with fresh Maine blueberries. But just window shopping and the view of the harbor, it's all very stunning. It's got a great personality. You could also drive up Cadillac Mountain. Cadillac Mountain in Acadia National Park is around 1,500 feet. It's the highest point along the North Atlantic seaboard and the first place to view sunrise in the United States from October 7th through March 6th. It gives you a gorgeous view of the shoreline and surrounding areas. We had a large picnic there because there was a bunch of us. We saw like a pirate ship in the harbor. The kids loved the look of that. Yes, but just a gorgeous place to get some good surroundings. If you're in the mood to get some hiking and a beach, go check out Thunder Hole. Thunder Hole is also in Acadia National Park. It's really awesome. It's on the rocky shores of Maine. On calm days like the ones we went, you kind of might wonder what all the fuss is about. It kind of just looks like this hole. But if you wait until the waves kick up in a few notches, the Thunder Hole is a small inlet. It's naturally carved on the rocks where the waves roll into it. At the end of this inlet, down below is a small cavern. When the rush of the waves arrive, air and water is forced out like a clap of distant thunder. Water may spout as high as 40 feet with a thunderous roar, hence the name Thunderhole. Again, it wasn't like that the day we went. It was pretty much just a pretty hike and a good place to go view the beach near there. So even if you don't see it on a cool day like that, it's still worth seeing. All right, this last one is not free because it has to do with food, but eat lobster. Because you're in Maine, of course.
Yeah.
We went camping to kind of cut down on costs, and we literally got lobster delivered to our campsite. We got a lobster dinner for 2 people that included corn and clams, delivered to our campsite for $30. $30 for 2 people to eat lobster. It was crazy. And it was like getting pizza, like ordering pizza, except it was lobster. It kind of felt like magic, and it was absolutely delicious. Best experience ever. If you know of some fun free things to do in our
So, there you go. You can get fresh Maine lobster when you're there.
That's neat.
Has anyone here ever eaten lobster
I love
before?
lobster.
A few of you? Okay. That's on my bucket list, is to go to Maine
I like
and eat
shrimp,
some
too.
fresh lobster. You like shrimp, Julie?
Come here, Julie.
I love shrimp and lobster.
Well, I bet they have some great shrimp too. Well, crew.
Yeah.
My favorite shrimp is from the Chinese place. Their shrimp is really good.
Oh, some local restaurants have good shrimp.
It's the Chinese place near Pruitt's.
Okay, good to know. Well, gang, our time goes by so fast in these hiking club meetings, and unfortunately, we're all out of time again. But it was fun for me to explore it. I hope you enjoyed it too and learned a thing or two. And maybe you've added Acadia National Park to your bucket list of places to visit in the future. It's so good to see everybody after our holiday week.
You all too.
That's right. We'll see you again next week, which is going to be extra special because we have some special guests coming on. Denise and Blaine will be joining us, and Seth, our very own Seth. Seth, give us a wave. So we'll be exploring more in the Philippines, where Denise and Blaine had lived for a while. So we can look forward to that. And I'll send out a few things for you to do some prep before next week. Come Friday, I'll send that to you. Josh, do you have something?
Can we explore Sunset Rock sometime?
Oh, sure. Local Sunset Rock. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put it on our list.
And next week also, the Capernaum team is going to be doing like a Christmas party thing next week, so that'll be fun to do.
Oh, that'll be fun.
They're going to be dropping off like a bingo bag.
Do we meet at 5:30 tonight or not?
No, we don't have another meeting tonight, but we do have chill chats on Thursday at noon.
What time?
At noon on Thursday. Chillin' chats.
Okay. I'll be at work, so I'm gonna miss that.
That's right. That's right. We'll miss you, Julie. Josh, do you have one more thing?
Do you have any more of those chillin' chats that are in the evening?
The chillin' chatter?
Yeah.
We do. We had to take a little break with the holidays, but we are going to try to have one in December. And if not, we'll reinstate it next year in January. Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So stay tuned because we are going to revamp some of our programs come 2021. Cool. And we'll have hopefully a few more different offerings for you guys if you want to branch out from our hiking club. So it's been great to see everybody. Thank you guys for coming.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's your dog's name?
Oh, Julie, his name is Indy.
Indy?
Indy, like
Indiana Jones.
I like your dog, Michelle.
Oh,
yeah, he's really
cute. Thank you.
He is.
And he's a big boy. Like,
I know, he's a big 65-pound boy.
Woo! That's heavy.
Wow.
Miss Dad, you
That's
come
heavy.
8,500. Nice cold ice.
So
That's right,
Penny,
not yet.
her name is, this is her full name. Penny Penelope Scout. The Scout name I came up with.
Phew.
The
Wow.
Scout name I came up with, that was a really good one.
Well, you guys stay warm out there. It's cold this week.
And guess what, Michelle? My
Yes,
dog
ma'am.
Penny, her ages are between 3 and 5, so she's between 3 and 5 years old. So she's.
Oh, okay. She's a youngin'.
I'll probably take like a
Did you say you need snow this
picture of her so
morning?
you can see her.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your afternoon. It's nice and sunny out, like you can see behind me.
Yeah.
And
Did
we'll
you say you
see
need
we'll see you next Tuesday, if not before.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.